Lovely, my guest for the evening. You know exactly where you can find her at Lila_Lovely, or check out all her links on onlylila.com. Links to everything in the episode description. As always, please make sure you support content creators that come on the show. Otherwise, they don't come on anymore. Lila, thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Let me start with the basic, boring, where it always begins. How did you initially decide to get into the adult entertainment industry in whatever form it was? Whether it was stripping, camming, you went right into shooting gangbang scenes, whatever it is. When did you make your entrance from the quote-unquote vanilla world into the world you work in now?
I got into this in a transition period of my life, and I got into it later in life. I was 35 years old when I began. And at that time, I was kind of freshly out of a divorce. And I had moved from the Midwest back to the West Coast, and I was a single mom. And I was like needing some pickup work because it's hard out there, right?
Sure.
And I worked in the spa industry previous to this. I was a massage therapist, an esthetician, and I did that for over 15 years. So I was just kind of looking for like massages, like some gigs that I could kind of like do to fill in and get a little bit of cash here and there. And came across an ad on Craigslist and it was said models wanted, any age, any size.
Okay.
Piqued my interest. I was already kind of sowing my wild oats, doing the kind of like Fet Life thing and just kind of figuring out what I liked. So I went and I did. I talked to these people. It was a couple, and they were out of like Southern California. I was in San Diego at that time, and I went to their house, and they were shooting BBW fetish clips. I didn't even know what BBW meant.
Okay.
I didn't think about anything. But I did some clips, like some solo stuff, some just like really simple stuff. And then like I went there a few different times. And they were basically like, I think you should you're really good at this. You should do this. And, I'm like, well, I'm sure you say that to everyone, but, yeah, that was my beginning. And it really just kind of took off really quick after that.
So let me ask, and this is not to poke holes at all.
Mm-hmm.
The Craigslist ad said any size, but then you got there and it was a BBW shoot. What if it was like a 95-pound girl coming going, it said any size?
Well, I did. So I did speak to her ahead of time. So we did go over some of those details. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm a bigger guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've always been. Does it offend you if someone says BBW at all? I wouldn't think it's a classification, but it's, beautiful's in the name. Like, are you cool with that niche or fetish or?
Yeah. And there's different avenues to people's appreciation. Some people really get into like the fat fetish and the feeding and all of that stuff. And then some people just appreciate a full figured woman.
Totally.
So there's a lot of variables there. And to be honest, when I started doing that, I didn't know that men appreciated women of size. I thought y'all just wanted skinny girls. I really didn't know. I didn't understand that there was a whole category of men that appreciated this. So it really opened my eyes and it started to make me feel so much more comfortable with myself.
That's actually really encouraging to hear. I've heard so many times that the adult industry or porn or whatever has given. I am blown away by the amount of women I interview who have just been in the most out there crazy scenes. And I go, so you must be a serious extrovert. And they go, oh, no, I'm a total introvert. I like to just stay at home and this and that. Is that your personality at all or no?
No, I'm a little bit of both.
Okay.
I'm a happy medium. Now I'm older and I like to just be in the house. But when I was younger, I like to be outside and I like to be out there doing stuff. And I do. I can only be in the house so long, and I'm like, all right, I need to get out and I need to see people and socialize. And I go to the gym every day, so I at least do that. But like, no, I would say I'm kind of a combo of both.
Okay, fair enough. When you initially got into this, it's funny because your previous career, it seems related, but it's not related. So my question was going to be, what did you take from your previous career into this? And as you say it, I'm wondering, is it sensuality? Is it being able to set the mood? Like, what did you take from the masseuse and esthetician and all of that world into the adult world?
Well, that in combination with me being a theater girl, and I know you've heard that a few times too during interviews.
Sure.
So it satisfied a lot of my like interests already. Being comfortable with bodies, nudity is. I don't really think twice about it. You know, bodies are bodies, and I've seen so many different body types. Being a body worker and a massage therapist, that going into sex work just felt really natural, and I wasn't like put off by any of that, like, ooh, like, you know what I mean, look at him kind of, you know. So yeah, it really kind of felt like a natural thing for me.
Okay. All right. And I guess you also take with you, there is, yes, bodies, nudity, this and that, but there's a professionalism that comes with that as well. And
Yeah.
I'm sure there are people, most likely men, who get into this industry and like, not all of them at all. I'm saying there's a couple or a few probably who get in and be like, it's a free for all. No, it's a business. This is a job. You know,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, this is how you pay your bills and this is how this guy pays his bills. Fucking do the job or don't pay your bills, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
let me ask you, you said you had gotten out of a relationship and then got into this industry.
Mhm.
Is this just a 180 from your personality prior to that? Or had you always been like, you know, flirty or I sound like a 90-year-old man when I say promiscuous, but I think you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Had it been like that? Or if someone who knew you 10 years ago saw you doing what you do now, would they be like, what the fuck happened? What is she doing?
Like, I think that they probably are shocked by it. I wasn't like I didn't date a lot. I always had like long-term boyfriends, and I was always like that girl. And, but I've always been very outspoken, and I've always done like theater and public speaking and things like that. So I think they might see it and be like, I get it though.
Okay.
You know, shocked, but like, okay, that kind of tracks.
So I also do a side show that I interview new girls coming into the industry. And I spoke to a girl last night, and number one thing she hates and can't stand is all of the acting prior to the actual scene shooting, you know, or the actual. I'm thinking you love that aspect of it then, right?
I do love it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
really,
So what?
I'm happy when I get booked for like a scene and I get to use that part of me.
So far, what are your favorite roles to play?
I mean, I'm usually thrown into a MILF type, like mommy role. So, I mean, that can be fun. You can, you know, just have have a lot of creative liberty with that. I mean, I've played a lot of little silly things. I've worn like prosthetic pregnancy suits. I've done naughty secretary before. I don't know, so many things.
Is there any role that you really want to dig your teeth into and like learn? Like, do you want to play like, I don't know, a general contractor and you have to come in and set all the contracts while being fucked, obviously, but you have to make sure everyone's on time and you're calling people and you're like, you got to get Johnson over here. He's got to connect the plumb. Oh, okay. I'm getting fucked. Hold on. Do you have any like grand ambitions or anything like that for a role to play in this industry? Have you ever shot a feature too? Can I ask that?
I don't know if I've done like a feature per se. I mean, I've shot for Brazzers a good number of times, Reality Kings, Score, quite a few companies.
Sure.
So a lot of those like ad scenes that are on Pornhub,
Sure.
you'll see that running across. So there's that. I like to be a mommy dom. I like to get into like my femdom side of me. So I'd love to get onto a pro femdom set and really kind of show that part off more.
I see a lot of people that get into femdom, again, more from the new side, the girls getting in. And it's almost like they look at that like it's, and there's no offense to them, and they'll learn eventually, but they look at it almost like that's kind of the easy way to go. Like, I'll come in and I'll just be mean to guys and I'll do this and that. And then I've talked to real femdoms and real people who have experience in this. Do you have, I guess you're an actress, so you do have the ability. You seem very sweet. Do you have the ability to get tough with a guy and fucking put him, is that the Midwest thing in you?
Yeah, definitely a Midwest nice. That's still in me. But one of the downfalls of being in the industry is you see a really ugly side of and a nasty side of like people, and you have to start to put down some really firm boundaries.
Sure.
And you can't be afraid of that. It's really important. So I've really learned how to use that voice and be really confident in setting really firm boundaries. And with that confidence and those boundaries, some men really get turned on by that and they really like that. So that's where that dominant side could come out even more so.
Can I ask you what one or two boundaries you may have added since you started in the industry? Is there something you'll just be like, no, not doing that?
Yeah, I mean, there's certain sex acts that I started out doing. Like I started doing anal like right out the gate. I'm doing anal, but I like doing that. I enjoyed it in my personal life. I didn't understand it was something to be coveted at all. I didn't know anything really about the porn industry getting into it. I was just kind of like, I'm having fun. And I've pulled the reins back on a lot of that. Like I'm not doing that right now. That's for my home life, save some stuff for home. So I just have learned to like be okay with putting those personal boundaries down. And some fans might get annoyed, but I think fans at the end of the day appreciate that even more because I'm being realistic about things.
Sure. Now, is that on anal, is that a firm boundary? Like you are not going to do scenes anymore or right opportunity time?
Yeah, no, I'm just not doing it right now. Awesome. Solo. I'll do solo, or if it was like a girl something. Yeah, but I'm just not doing boy-girl anal.
Totally. Is that, okay. All right. Yeah, no, that makes sense. Can I ask, what was your first boy-girl shoot? And how different did it feel to you than the modeling shoots you had done early on, where you knew like this was going to happen?
It was with that first couple that I started doing those clips with. We started shooting for a couple months, so it just kind of progressed from like solo, and then it like went into a boy girl soon after that.
Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. How long did it take you to become comfortable in front of the camera, or I guess with your theater background, were you always?
I mean, that wasn't really that was more like, that was an audience. So yeah, I'm familiar. I'm comfortable in front of people and audiences. It doesn't bother.
Okay. Mm-hmm. No tension or nerves when you were going to do those first shoots?
I mean, of course, a little bit of like natural nerves, but nothing crazy. I had some really great like first experiences with sets and stuff, and they just make sure you feel really comfortable, especially if they know that you're new.
Sure. I won't ask you to call anyone out by name, obviously, but you've been on some good sets. I assume anyone who's been in the industry this long has been on some bad sets as well. What is the difference between a good set and a bad set, and what can a bad set do to turn it around and just make it better? Are there any like little simple fixes that drive you fucking nuts on a bad set?
Yeah, I mean, let me just think about how I want to position.
Think about whatever. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I get it.
Having the right amenities is huge, and having clean amenities is key. You know, I've been to houses that it's a shoot house and the bathroom is nasty. And a shower is like you don't want to touch a shower curtain. It's just like, come on. That's like the most easy thing you could do, you know, is go to wall. Even if you don't have a big budget, you can fake it. You can fake it till you make it. I don't care. Go get a $2 fresh shower liner for these girls. That's easy. You know what I mean? Just like really simple things. Just upgrading the furniture that you use. We all know that it's being used over and over and over again. If it's an upholstery situation, swap it out.
Sure.
Swap it out. It's really not that hard. You know, it's all just little things like that to make a big difference when you're going on sets.
Totally.
Sounds gross, but
okay. I can't really ask it then because then it might get too specific. I was going to ask what the worst set you were on, but you just described. I mean, pretty much what makes a bad set.
Yeah, that would just be kind of a generalization of some like not great conditions.
Okay, totally fair. Let me ask you, what is the most challenging shoot you've been a part of? Not necessarily it's negative. Challenging for you, whether you were worried about handling the male talent, whether it was too many, if you had concerns about wardrobe or anything like that. Like, what was the most challenging time you've had in this industry? And again, not necessarily negative at all. Just like, this is going to be something.
I think maybe the one I always bring that one up with the wearing the pregnancy like prosthetic, because there was a lot of like parts to that scene, so it was like they wanted, you know, squirting, and I've got this suit on, and there was like a lot of people in the scene, so it was just a lot of moving parts. It's all I would have to say. But overall, I don't do a lot of group scenes, and I've always been independent. I don't have an agent that books my scenes for me, so I'm really been in control of everything that I've been a part of.
Okay, all right. If I go to your OnlyFans, by the way, for the people listening, it's at Lila_Lovely. Sign up for that.
XXX. Oh yeah,
yeah. I got you.
Two of them. There's two of them.
There is two of them, but I'm sending people. You go pay for it, folks. Okay, if you're listening to this right now, you're getting this for free, so go pay for that. Okay, just go do that. If I sign up for your OnlyFans, what am I gonna see? Do I get like, is it the daily updates of your life? Is it like more personal feel? Is it more polished? Like once a month we put out this big video. Do you have any like structure to your OnlyFans, or is it just kind of what you're feeling?
Yeah, no, there's quite a bit of structure to it, but you get more of a personalized experience. So if you want to like sext and chat, I'm there online to do all that. Some people don't know exactly what they're looking for. Like they want a video, but they can't, you know, they don't know what. They don't maybe know my library of content yet. So I can help guide them through like, hey, let me put together a bundle, or, you know, I think you might like this, or what are you into? So it's a lot more personalized experience than if you were just going to subscribe to like the website or buy a video off of ManyVids or something like that.
Sure. Okay. All right. But what kind of, okay, so you're directing them to stuff like that. What kind of content? Yeah. Are you I mean, is it like, again, like daily, weekly pictures, or like, say I'm going through my timeline right now. Oh, there's Lila. Oh, there she looks great as always. Yeah. And what am I seeing?
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
Okay.
The daily updated photos. I do boy-girl videos, so I don't do a ton of those during the year anymore. So, but I've been ramping it up lately. So right now it's kind of been like once a month. There's a new boy-girl video coming. In between that, solo stuff. My guys just love solo stuff, whether it's a JOI or a shower video or something of just me like seductively stripping.
Okay.
fetishes. So yeah, I dabble in all kinds of different stuff. Give
This
them more
is
variety.
this is going to be such a stupid question. How do you keep talking during solo videos? I host a show. I've done 200 episodes of this. I feel like if I had to I would get to about 30 seconds in and be like, what else do you guys want? Like, how do you just keep it going?
Yeah, sometimes I do have to look at other stuff to get a little bit of inspiration. Like, okay, I've said this so many times over and over, um, Chat GPT helpful. And there's actually an adult version of that you can say hey, I want to create this video, this kind of like the tone that I want it to be. And it'll write up a script for you. It's really cool. So there's tools to help you come up with it. But I don't know, you just kind of after a while,
it just kind of becomes second nature. You're just like,
yeah,
then we'll move into the cum talk over here and blah, blah. Okay. All right. Okay. Do you have any personal turn-ons that you would like to incorporate more into your content? I assume you shoot what you like. Every girl I've interviewed kind of has a thing of, I shoot the content I like and then I shoot what also makes money over here and whatever. But is there anything you've either yet to do or if you've only dipped your toe in where it's a niche or a fetish or something you want to explore possibly going forward?
I did just shoot with Brickzilla. So he was someone who I've been wanting to shoot with for my fans. I've shot with some other big guys in the past. And then, like I said, I had taken a little slowdown on hardcore content and now I'm ramping back up. So I feel like I've also had body changes over the years too. And a lot of new fans and with these body changes. So I wanted to show them what I still can do, not what I used to do. So that's why I'm starting to put myself back out there, be like, yeah, I do still do this and I am still that girl.
Can I give you a compliment that's going to sound like an insult? And I am not good with women, so it's going to sound really stupid.
All right, let's have it.
The glow up on your hair since some of the early scenes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. There was one I saw, and you still looked hot, and you still look gorgeous. I'm sure it was a great scene. But I was like, yo, that is a Wisconsin haircut. Speaking as a guy from New Jersey, okay? Yeah. That is a Wisconsin haircut. And I have seen, I also snuck around and saw your workout, either Instagram or Twitter. I forget which one it was. But yeah, you bust your ass. And you always look good, but you're right. Everything has tightened up. You look awesome. You look incredible. Do you feel better?
So much better. So much better. I'm such a healthier version of myself than I was when I began in this industry. I know I began as a bigger girl, and that's where a lot of my fans come from. But I honestly do get offended when they're fans are like, I respect you working out, but I liked you better before. And I'm like, oh, bro. That's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. I'm older. I can't carry weight like that and be a healthy person. And I'm such a better version of myself. So it is what it is. But yeah, thank you.
You know, the greatest example of that, I interviewed her a few weeks ago, Dee Dee White, formerly Seika Black, 71 years old, in infinitely better shape than I am right now.
I love her. She's so cool.
She's just the greatest personality. I'll give you a little behind the scenes scoop on this. It was so cute. Her and a gentleman that was helping her, I don't know what to say, were doing the Zoom thing beforehand. They're like, I can't get the screen to be full. And I was just like, yo, this is like my grandma. But she fucks a whole bunch of dudes all the time. Good for her.
Yeah, I had a couple family members. I have a couple cousins that I'm really close with, and I brought them to an event down here in South Beach, and she was at the event, and we had a room one night at the Ritz-Carlton, and she's there hanging out, and they're like, wow, look at that woman. They had no anything. And I was like, yo, shit, that, let me tell you about that. And they couldn't believe it. And they were like, what?
That is so funny. What did you do? Did you just, I mean, if this is too personal, please, it's so funny. I'll talk all day about, so have you been gangbanged, blah, blah, blah. If this is too personal, please stop me. Did you change the diet, just hit the gym more? I lost about 70 pounds last year because someone told me I couldn't. So fuck it. And it was, yes, the back feels better. The fucking everything, you don't cramp up all the time. The knees don't hurt. What did you do to change your lifestyle?
Yeah, so COVID either made you or break, or, you know, it was like make it or break it kind of situation. So I kind of like got into my health and I started like working out. I got a trainer. And then I decided to go get a Mommy Makeover. So I did have a tummy tuck and I got a BBL. And that just continued to motivate me. And I see a lot of women getting their bodies done and then they don't like maintain it. It doesn't look great.
No.
And I really didn't want that. I'm like, if I'm going to do this, I want to look good. I want it to like look right. You know, I want to take care of myself. So I've just been super committed on staying in the gym. And again, I'm getting older and I don't want someone to have to take care of me. I don't want to have to use a device to get around when I'm 80 years old. I want to have a strong body for the rest of my life.
You want to be Dee Dee White, exactly. Still working in your 70s. I can't imagine. I'm going to be dead before 71 and she's out there fucking doing gangbangs and stuff. Okay. This is going to be really awkward if you got into like a big fight with her yesterday and you're not friends anymore. Maybe you're not friends. I don't know. Maybe you just work together. I have seen you at Exotica, I believe, with Sarah J.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Sarah J agreed to come on this show when I had 2 episodes in. I had like no followers, no listeners. She sat with me for an hour. She talked. Great conversation. She seems like you didn't get into a huge fight with her and you hate her now, right?
No.
Okay, good. She seems like a giving person in this industry. Have you only worked with her a little bit, or is she someone that like has helped you at all through this, or?
We've got, I have one scene with her and we had met like at an award show, I think initially. And then now we have a lot of mutual friends. So that has brought us closer in the last few years. So yeah.
Okay. Is there anyone that you consider, like, not necessarily a mentor, but is there anyone in the industry you kind of look up to and you're like, I want to do more what they're doing, or I want to ask them how they're doing this, or I think this is interesting that they do?
My good friend Sophia Rose, she's always been somebody that I've looked up to and tried to kind of model my career after how she's kind of operated. So I was like, I like how she's kind of set the tone for things. I like the boundaries that she set. We're very similar people. So yeah.
What kind? Oh, you know what? I'm going to do a little thing I do called stat check. So these numbers are going to be wrong. I'm just putting that out there right now. This is from the Internet Adult Film Database. I just like using it as kind of a milestone or a checkpoint. These are the stats that are on your career right now. And then a year from now, we'll look at it and you'll be drowning in AVN awards and we'll just go, oh, remember when that was it? Oh, boy. So for scenes, I have that you have shot 137 scenes. Guys you've worked with, 41. Girls you've worked with, 29. Nominations for AVN awards, I apologize, 7, because you have other wins. No wins yet, is that correct for AVN?
No.
They're tough, man. They're real tough.
You got to be bringing in money to them.
Fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. How do you bring money into them?
There's so many different ways.
Is it shootings? I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know.
I can't really say specifically, and I don't want to.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Totally fair. Okay. Well, they should recognize people like you. I'll just put it that way. So let's talk about the future. Where do you see this career going? Do you have a cutoff point where you go, I've made this much money, I'm ready to move on to a new venture? Obviously, I'm just saying from your standpoint here, no way to predict where it goes. Are you like, if I do this and I just get tired of it one day, I'm okay just walking away? Do you want to be doing this until you're 80 years old, like D.D. White, as we said? What is your plan going forward in this industry?
Right now, I think there's a lot of possibilities with AI. As I get older, I don't always, Lila can live on forever in my eyes, and I can always monetize off of Lila Lovely, and she could be legacy down to my children. You know what I mean? So I feel like I've put in so much into this now. I have such a huge library of content. I'm continuing to do that. I still feel great as a performer. I'll continue to do that until I don't feel great. And when it naturally feels like maybe I'm gonna like taper back off. You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily have like a specific plan. I'm very much of like, let's kind of to see how things go and how I feel. And I feel that I actually have that freedom to do that with this.
I like that you embrace the AI thing, because I think I have a more pessimistic view. My concern is they go to these, whatever they are. Some of them aren't even like shoot mainstream stuff or anything. 10 million followers, 20 million followers on Instagram. And they just go, sell us your rights and you don't ever have to do anything again. We'll just make it.
Yeah.
I think you will still benefit from that. You obviously are big enough, but I wonder if that's going to screw over newer people coming in, or people who are more like, not in a negative way, in like more of a mid-tier, you know, where they're not the most popular person, but they're also not a newbie or anything like that.
I don't think so. I think that there's still men that don't want that
Sure.
actually want real. Like, I think the more we get that, the more people are going to crave actual human connection and seek that out. So I think that you're going to have both. Some guys don't care. I mean, you see these Instagram accounts that are AI women and they got tons of followers. They don't care. They don't care. She's a hot female form.
Sure.
That's all they care. So I don't know. You know what I mean? I can be a pessimist about it too, but I'm trying to look at it in ways that I can use it for myself, and it's not going to go away. So
sure. I think, yeah, like I said, I think you're going to totally be fine, and you have a, you know, catalog like you've talked about of stuff that you could draw from that if you wanted to. I think it's, our studios, and I'm not asking you to talk bad about it, I only know because I've seen it on Twitter a few times. Are studios trying to get people to sign away their rights as well to some of those things?
I haven't heard anything yet. So I'm not I don't work in studios constantly to like hear those things. So I'm not really sure. Gotcha.
I think, like I said, I mean, yes, I'll be an optimist with you and say it'll be better and this and that. I think those mid-tier girls will get hurt a little bit in that, possibly. New girls, everyone always wants to see someone new coming in or whatever. Established stars like yourself. But who knows? None of us actually know what's going to happen. Okay.
Yeah, it's a mystery.
This is a weird question, especially because you said you didn't shoot a bunch of group scenes. But I always ask this: what constitutes a gangbang to you? How many people constitute? This is contentious, by the way, amongst
it is,
performers.
Because I have one that I sell as a gangbang, but it's with 3 guys. Now, some would say that is not a gangbang. I think they say 4 is the minimum.
What do you think? I would say 3. Okay. By the way, if people go back in previous episodes, you'll hear me being like, nothing less than 5. As you're saying it, no, I think 3 is entirely reasonable. It's not a threesome. It's a step up from that.
Yeah, and they're really not the easiest to coordinate on your own. It's really not easy to find a bunch of guys. It isn't. It's not an easy thing. So I had more planned for that day, but 3 is what we ended up with.
Wow. Oh, what? I mean, is just people bailing at the last minute, or do people get cold feet in the industry?
It was like during like XBiz Miami, like years ago, and it was like the guys are in and out of the room and like, yeah, I'll do it. And then it was like taking forever to do all the paperwork and stuff. And by the time like we get to it, oh, he left, or he it just that kind of.
Did you realize that so much of you mentioned the paperwork there. I always ask this question too. Did you realize that like 5% of this job was having sex and the rest was everything else that comes with it?
Oh, yeah. And I mean, I don't think most people don't realize that, because you're barely fucking compared to what you think, it's everything else.
Sure. Totally ignorant outside perspective. I go, oh, Lila goes in, she has sex with the guy, she comes home, she gets paid, $40 million and everything's good. Like, guys from the outside probably see that and go, yeah, triple anal? Yeah, definitely made about 40 million on that one, I would assume. Not quite like that, right? You show up, sign a bunch of papers.
Yeah.
Start having sex in one position, pause, move the camera, move lighting if possible, do it again is that kind of the gist of like, I understand you say you don't work in a ton of mainstream as much anymore, but is that kind of the gist of what it being on a porn set is?
Like mechanical like that?
I mean, obviously there's like, joking and passion and stuff. I'm not saying like everyone's a Russian robot person, but, yeah, is it a little more like we got to go through this step now and we got to do this?
It depends on the company. Because some companies are very specific and they have key shots that they need to grab. So they have to make sure, we got to get this key shot, and then they'll get it from like multiple angles. So you're going to go over that shot a bunch of times. So sometimes, yeah, it can just be like, all right, I'm going to do this, that. But, it's so cool though.
Okay. All right. Last question I have for you, and this one is also contentious and surprises me the answers I get. You're a person who got into the industry a little, not later in life, not like Seika Black, Dee White, but a little later in life than the girl that gets in at 19 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
What is the age that people should be able to get into porn?
Oh. Yeah. I think they should be able to do it at 18. Okay. You're an adult then.
Sure.
You're an adult. Will I work with an 18-year-old? No. I'm not comfortable with that. I understand there's a lot of growth and maturing that needs to happen for them to make some like real good decisions and life decisions.
Sure.
So, but I also know that like some people come from like really shitty backgrounds, and sex work is a means of them being able to like get away from that.
Totally.
And you know what I mean? So some girls, it really like it helps them survive, and it helps pull them out of really bad situations. So
totally get that too. The conversation I've been having around that is I've always said this: if you're old enough to go die in war somewhere at 18, you're old enough to shoot porn. Like, come on, get the fuck. If you can go get the death penalty, you're allowed to shoot porn. But the more and more performers I talk to, so many of them, some of them got in at 18, all say 21. Do it 21. I understand what you're saying too. I don't want to take away someone's ability to make money. That's not. But the other problem with it is number doesn't really account for it, because there's 18-year-olds who are so wise and smart and have their shit down, and there's 40-year-olds who have no fucking idea what they're doing, right?
Completely.
So it's tough. It's tough. I think what I liked, and I don't give a shit. Do whatever you want. As long as there's no dogs or kids in the room, I don't give a fuck what you do if you're an adult, okay?
Yeah.
But I think a nice little mid-ground I've been finding with mainstream performers lately is maybe 18 to 21 you do cam stuff or solo stuff or this and that. Get a little business experience under your belt, understand what your worth is, what your worth would be for shooting scenes, and then, hey, you hit 21, you go out there and shoot.
That might be a better progression of things, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. At the end of the day, do what you want to do if you're legal.
Right.
There you go. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest tonight, Lila Lovely. You can find her at onlylila.com. And most importantly, you know exactly where you can find her on OnlyFans at Lila_Lovely. Links to everything in the episode description. Please make sure, bare minimum, you got to follow her on Twitter. If you have no money, you're fucking broke. Go to a library, go sign up for Twitter, follow her on Twitter. Then you sign up for the free OnlyFans. Then from there, you sign up for the VIP OnlyFans, and then you go to the website and buy whatever else she's selling. Lila, thank you so much for your time tonight. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate you too. Thanks.